Good day, everyone. Kathy here with another episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Today I am making a card based on this past Friday's Craft Roulette Challenge number 272. If you're not familiar with the Craft Roulette channel, oh my gosh, you have got to get familiar with it. Just click on the more in the product description below, and that will take you to a link to this past Friday's Craft Roulette Challenge. What Craft Roulette is they spin a roulette wheel every Friday night and tell you what project you need to make, what colors you need to use, and just some random element thingies that you need to put on your project. So for today, we need to make a thank you card with the colors of flying kites. The element space has to be on there somewhere. And random, you have to use high falutin paper. Okay, when I think of high falutin paper, I think of expensive and sparkly. So I've got some black glitter cardstock. It's kind of actually a dark charcoal gray, and that's sparkly, and that paper is expensive. And then I had this piece. I just love this. This has some pre-embossed sparkly areas on the paper. This was a sheet from Joanne Fabrics. I think this was Cloud 9 Designs sparkle cardstock. So that wasn't inexpensive either. When I think of flying kites, I'm thinking of reds and blues and greens, so that this cardstock fits perfectly with that. All right, so let me get started. I'm going to make a cream colored card today. Usual 10 inches by 7 inches, scored at the 5-inch line, fold it, crease it with your bone folder. And then I have a piece of plain black cardstock that is 6 3/4, or no, 6 3/8 by 4 3/8. And then the piece, and I already cut out a thank you sentiment from the center of that. Then a piece of that black glitter cardstock. This is also 6 3/8 by 4 3/8. And then my piece of patterned paper that is also glossy and shiny. And you see it has like little stars and what looks like little nebulas. And this kind of reminds me of something I used to see on Space 1999, if you remember that vintage TV show. So this is where my space element comes in. And this just reminds me of outer space in like a 1970s galaxy. All right. So I'm going to take the black cardstock and I'm going to put this down first. And I'm going to kind of put this catty corner. I don't want it straight. So I'm going to glue this down flat. This shouldn't be a very long card project. Should be fairly straightforward and simple. And if you haven't checked out Craft Roulette, my gosh, you really need to. It really stretches your imagination and makes you do things that you normally wouldn't in a card project. Now these two pieces I'm going to glue together just like normal. So I'm just going to have a very thin black sparkly outline. Now, if I wanted to save this paper, I could cut something out of the center because it won't be seen, just like I did with the plain black cardstock. But I don't have any projects in mind, and I have had this black glitter cardstock for some time. And I think it just sets this red cardstock off perfectly. All right, now I'm going to put this on kind of at an angle itself, kind of like that, and I'll move up so I stay on mine. And that's, I'm going to glue this one down flat. Now, my mind has been going to off-centered designs lately. Not sure why, but it looks kind of cool, I think. And it gives you a different space to the outside of the card. See what I did there? The space just isn't outer space. It could be the space on your card, how you used your space. All right. Now, I'm also going to do this. I cut out, this was an extra little flower from this piece of paper, and I just fussy cut it out. And I'm just going to glue that to the outside of my envelope because I like to have something to coordinate with my design on the envelope. And that little die cut is just going to fit on here perfectly. Okay, I'm just going to set that aside. Now, I need a piece of white scrap paper. And I think this one will work nicely if I have enough space here. I have this little sentiment tag. Oh yeah, that'll fit on there perfect. So what I'm going to do is die cut this out first and then stamp on it. Normally I would stamp and die cut, but I don't have a whole lot of room on here. If my stamping is off-centered. This is a Sizzix die. I don't know what set it came from, but there is a number on the back. It is 665808A. If that helps you look it up. Just a sentiment die, and it has a stitched edge. I'm going to cut this out. And I'll get my tweezers. Just pop that out. And it has a nice finished stitched edge. Okay, now I'm going to get my stamping platform. And I'm going to use, since this is a thanks card, I have already die cut out from the same set. This is GinaK's Doodled Autumn set. And I cut the thanks out in gold mirror cardstock, and then the shadow layer in black. And then I've already picked out for everything. Since this is a thank you card, and that's part of the project parameters, I want to have thanks for everything on this card. Now, to get this sort of centered on here, all right, that looks good. Now, if you're unsure of your placement, you can take a piece of acetate and stamp down first, but I have a feeling this is going to be okay. Now watch, it won't. Just going to stamp that on. And I'll do one more just to get it a little crisp. That's perfect. Set that aside. Say thanks for all you do. I'll just clean this stamp off. And I'll put this stamp back in. Okay. Now I'm going to glue my thanks down to my shadow layer. If you're like me and wondering if this My Sweet Petunia glue press is worth the money that you spend on it, oh my gosh, the answer is yes. This works great for gluing, especially these small little areas. And I've only had it clog up on me once, and that was my fault because I had it put back down in the press, but you have to leave it flat. And I had it on the edge of my board, and it was just tilted up just the littlest bit, which means that the tip wasn't laying flat down in there. And that's why that glued shut. But it was easy to get it unplugged. But I have not regretted this purchase at all. I'm just going to use a little wet wipe. Now I want to pop that up, but I also want to put my sentiment strip on because I want the thanks to be above this, kind of sitting on it. And I want it to go off the edge. And I want to kind of put it straight so that it appears to be angled from everything else, if that makes sense. This I'm going to glue down flat, but the thanks I want to pop up. And I have arthritis in these fingers. In fact, they're doing a swan dive on me. But I have no problem squeezing the handle of that. Now I'm going to pop this up and just use some 1/8 inch foam strips that I have here. I'm going to cut one of these down just so that I can put a little bit on the top of the K and the T, so they're not like floating in outer space. I think I cut that one too long. So what I'll do is I'll just gently pick that up if I can and slide it backwards. All right. All right. Just like that. Now I'm going to put just a little bit of bling on it, and then this card is basically done. So I've got some regular sequins, and then I have some clear, which the clear will allow you to see the background through it. And I'm thinking I want to go with the clear, but then again, oh, I'm going to do a combination. I'm going to put the big ones in the center of the flowers or the space designs. So this one reminds me, there was, I don't know if it was a DNA molecule or some scientific molecule that Space 1999 had, and that reminds me so much of their motif. Now I'm just going to take a couple of these clear ones, and a tiny one in the center of that star. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue here and here. Oh no, why not right up there? And we'll put a little one down here. All right. This one will go there. Oh, there it is. I knew I had another one out. And those clear ones, when that glue dries, they'll be nice and clear and you won't see the white through it. Oh, I think I do want to add a little bit more sparkle, even though this already has enough. I'm going to make it really highfalutin here. I'm going to add a little bit of diamond stickles. And I moved my stickle brushes. Let's see where I moved it to. Ah, there it is. All right, some of this already has shiny on it. So I think I want to take this gray and add it in the center. I'm just going to put a little bit around the outside edge. And brush that in. And then I'm going to put a little bit down here. Oh, where do I want to put it? Just a couple of these floating space dots. That's what I'm going to call them. As random as I can get, my brain tends to go towards patterns. But I'm going to try random. See if we need some anywhere else. Yeah, over here. And another one here. Okay. All right, and I'm going to put a little bit of those on that envelope, I think. This will dry before it goes through the mail. I'm going to add just like a stripe to the center of each of these petals. Now, I'm not going to rub that in or anything. I'm just going to leave like a small narrow stripe. Now, I always do the envelopes. I don't always show it on camera, but today's card was going to be a fairly quick project. So I thought I would show you how I decorate the envelopes also. All right. That is my card for today. Let me get this up and make sure I have met all the parameters of the challenge. Okay, it has to be a thank you card. Yes, I have thanks for all you do. The colors of the flying kites, I have the reds and the blues and the yellow from the sun in the sky. Element space. And so these remind me of stars in space, and then the Space 1999 motif. And I think I used the space on my card very efficiently. Random has to have highfalutin paper, and well, we've got that black glitter cardstock in there, and then this paper itself started out shiny in spots. You can see it especially up here on this red flower. And then I added extra sparkle and glimmer to it. So we've got highfalutin paper. And then that's how the envelope will sparkle. Once this stickles dries, it'll be flat and very shiny. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Now, tomorrow will be another very short video because I work tomorrow afternoon. I'm just going to show you some more birthday cards I got in the Craft Roulette card exchange. And then Wednesday, we'll be back to a regular video. Thanks for watching. Good night.